Listen up, because today I'm going to share with you guys 15 fragrances that guarantee me compliments. And here's a very important thing to remember. Comments are not compliments. When somebody comes to you and asks you what you're wearing, do you think that somebody would ever come to you and say, oh my goodness, your fragrance smells so bad. Oh, what are you wearing? That's gross. Nobody in the world, unless they have issues, will come and tell you that. So you can take it how you want, but when somebody asks you what you're wearing, that is not a compliment. These fragrances are compliments. So somebody comes close, says, oh, you smell good, you smell so cozy, any positive associations. I know that was a bit controversial, but if there's a one key takeaway, is that a comment is not a compliment. Let's start with the first one. This is one of my biggest compliment getters. Everybody loves how this smells, and this is Oran Jane Levant. This fragrance smells a lot like Ex Nihilo's Fleur Narcotique, so it has this airy, dry, peony scent. It's very captivating. It is very strong and long-lasting, and it has touches of citrus intertwined that freshen it up and actually make it a really easy wearing scent for every day. I love this fragrance and I wear it very often. That is definitely one key component in getting compliments, is that you wear it often and people can actually smell it. A lot of these fragrances here, you will not get a compliment unless somebody comes close to you. But this one, it leaves a cloud and it is noticeable. It is a strong performer. It is very well liked. Here's a very cozy one that does stay closer to the skin, but it is one of my signature scents, and this is Amber Musk from Erin. It is a very fluffy, soft, like almost cloud-like type of scent, very enveloping, very easy wearing. It depends on your skin chemistry, really, how musk behaves, because on my skin, musk behaves very, very well. It goes in a slightly sweet, powdery direction, and it's just very welcoming and pleasant. This is always compliments whenever I get a hug. I have gotten compliments from more than 10 people on this fragrance. And that says a lot, because usually people that will compliment, let's be honest here, are people that somehow know you and know you have a passion for fragrance, and like, if they smell something they like, they will compliment you. But it is incredibly, incredibly rare, where I live at least, for anybody to approach you as a stranger and tell you how good you smell. Like, that is just not the culture here. Here is a fragrance that I myself personally am not crazy about. I have been trying so hard to like this scent, and I only like it layered with the Le Labo Teint Noir body lotion. This is BDK Gris Charnel. This is one of the most viral fragrances. Everybody seems to just love it. It leaves a huge trail, and it's a compliment monster, no denying there. Me, myself, I'm not a huge fan. It has this sort of like a cardamom figgy wood thing going on. It is slightly creamy. It's just not me. I feel like this would smell really nice and elegant on like a guy who works a very upscale job, like in the financial district, or like maybe a lawyer that, you know, isn't like super alpha. Like, I'm sorry to offend you guys if there's guys watching that are like super alpha and wear this, but this is not an alpha male scent to me. This is a very like proper guy type of scent, and I guess it's like a little bit too masculine for me personally, but people love this. Green Butterfly from Byron is a huge hit in general. This is a very unique scent, but I think it's still quite likable for people in general. It has aldehyde, so it smells very clean, powdery quality, almost like a dusty, warm quality, like cacao powder. You know, if you just were to buy like dark, like cacao powder for baking and smell that, I kind of get that powdery, chocolatey vibe in here. It is very soft, but very present, very powerful. Another like beast mode fragrance that it's kind of a trickster. Like, you don't realize how strong it is until you put on like 2 to 3 sprays, and then you're like, whoa, and then everybody can smell you as well. So that is another factor. Like, long lasting fragrances with a lot of throw will obviously catch more people's attention, and they'll be able to smell it versus a fragrance that like stays close. We have a very colorful palette coming together here, and we're gonna add one more color. I lost my cap, but this is Armani Code. This is an oldie but a goodie that I have loved for so many years. All of the flankers are beautiful. I also really love the Armani Code satin, and like, it's such a kind of like basic sort of orange blossom vanilla that like maybe some people might think is outdated, but this is a scent profile that I think is so timeless and so lovable. It's a comforting, warm, but very sensual fragrance. Like, I always feel very attractive in this scent. I think it puts out a certain vibe because when you feel a certain way when you wear a fragrance, that's the energy that you're putting out, and like people will feel that from you. And I think that because I always feel really good in the scent, it puts that energy out to people. Maybe the scent itself is not so complex, kind of basic, like standard designer, but it just smells so good. It's a people-pleasing, easy kind of grab and go scent on the sexy side. By the way, if you guys are curious to try out any of these fragrances, you can do that on the scented.ca. That is my decant shop, and you can sample any of these fragrances and hundreds more. So even this next one, which is Alien, this is the pre-reformulation Alien, which is just such a special and discontinued gem. The current formulation by L'Oreal just isn't the same, but I have some refill bottles that I've been stocking and keeping in my back pocket. So if anybody wants to try the like original Alien, I still have a little bit left. So that's the one that I always wear, and it's just a little bit warmer, just a little bit deeper and more magical than the current day. Even though the current day one, like, it's all right. It's just a little bit watered down, but it's just a warm ambery jasmine scent, a very sensual, deep, bold, like very bold, very sultry, like leaning risque, if you know what I'm trying to say. But I love it. I love it. My man loves it, and it gets me a lot of compliments. However, I'm pretty sure this pisses off just as many people as people that love it. It is a very polarizing scent. Some people do hate it. It's very common amongst Mugler fragrances. It's very love or hate. Regardless, it is a compliment monster for me, so it is in this list. This fragrance does stay close to the skin, but it smells so good when people come close. So this is a hug compliment getter, and it's Coco Noir from Chanel. It's one of my signature scents, and it's kind of a spicy, warm rose, amber, and like clove and patchouli scent. Often referred to as the grown-up sister of Coco Mademoiselle, but I think it's a little bit different. It's a lot spicier. Coco Mademoiselle has the citrus, where I hardly pick up any citrus in this. It's just a lot warmer, spicier, but spicy in a soft way, if that makes sense. It's clove that I smell mostly out of the spices, and it's a very elegant, ladylike scent. I tend to go for this in the evenings. However, I think this is an excellent workplace scent. I have worked with ladies that wore this to the office, and it smelled really, really nice. The great thing about it is that it's not intrusive. So like in a sensitive space, people won't really smell you unless they're like within like a foot and a half of you. So I think this is a very workplace safe fragrance, as are many Chanel's, which brings me to Chanel Chance. This is the EDP, which I personally like more, but the EDT is just as much of a compliment getter, and this is more like a daytime easy grab and go. It's a woody patchouli scent, very classic Chanel DNA. I think very ladylike, and the EDT I think is more fresh. So people that are just starting to work their way into Chanel fragrances and might find them a little bit too mature, I think the EDT is a lot easier. I get a lot of compliments with all of my Chanel fragrances, but I had to pull the two most complimented ones, and also ones that I myself really enjoy. But like pretty much transparently across the board, whenever I wear Chanel fragrances, I'm likely to get a compliment. Here's a very sexy one, and this is Psychedelic Love from Initio. This is a very special scent. It's a deep, warm myrrh and vanilla. It has touches of rose and patchouli as well. It's just a perfectly balanced like depth and sweetness. The myrrh is magical. This is a unique type of scent, but at the same time, there are some familiarities in here that make it easy for people who are like new noses or like unfamiliar with niche perfumery. Like, this isn't anything crazy, you know what I mean? This isn't anything like really bold and out there. It's just a complex, like very sensual and very attractive scent. This is mouthwatering, and people really, really like this. This has a, like, I wouldn't say this is like a super projection monster or like a super performer or anything. It smells like it would be, but it really isn't. Like, this one to me, I feel like has about maybe a 2-foot scent radius, if you will. People seem to really enjoy it. It has a coziness about it, a very welcoming, soft, warm vibe. So I think that's probably why. Obviously, Byredo Belle d'Afrique, probably because it's one of my signature scents and I just wear it all the time. It is not the strongest performer, but It performs well enough for me. And you guys are probably looking at this like, what is this honkin' bottle and how did you get it? They had a limited release of 250 mLs. Of course, I immediately picked it up and I wish they still had it, but they don't. If they ever release it, I will buy like 10. It's my favorite. It is such a happy scent. It's marigold, it's vetiver, but the vetiver, you know, most fragrances, vetiver, when it's in there is like front and center and very, very noticeable. In here, it's kind of like in the background and just adds this very interesting characteristic. It's soft. It's still like mostly sweet. It has a lotion-like effect, and it's just, the more you smell it, the more you love it. It's a very different type of scent, but super likable as well. There's a reason why it's been a cult classic for so long, and I think it'll always be in these lists for me. Dior Ombre Nuit. This is, like I said before, the best rose amber patchouli scent, like the best warm rose scent ever. It's unisex, so it's just as sexy on men. And this is definitely like an evening type of date night situation sort of fragrance. It's super warm and cozy. This is another one of those that people have to come closer to really enjoy it. It's not a monster projector. This is a hug complimenter. I have to come up with a better term for that, but we're gonna work on it. Narciso Rodriguez, Narciso Poudre. This one is like a sweet, musky scent. It's a less floral than the White Cube, which I think is discontinued now. It's sweeter. And this one is a powerhouse, so people will definitely smell this. It leaves quite a big cloud. This is one of those that you have to be careful not to overspray, because this is beautiful in smaller doses and everyone will love it in smaller doses, and it could become stuffy in larger doses. So I am not for massively overspraying. I think too much of a good thing is not a good thing, and this is one of those fragrances that can become like too much sometimes. That being said, it's a very, very likable scent when it is mildly applied, and it is a crowd-pleasing type of scent, and which is unusual, kind of like for musk. Musk can be tricky, but this, I find, even though has such a presence, people seem to really love it and do frequently compliment it. I have overestimated my tray and I'm running out of room, but we're down to the last two. Mon Guerlain in any capacity, in any flanker, will always get me a compliment, and it will probably get you a compliment. And it is a very, very likable scent profile of mainly vanilla, lavender, and some of them have different takes. This is the Bloom of Rose EDT. It is my favorite. It just resonates with me on like a visceral level. Like, I feel like this is me in a fragrance, so I wear it a ton. That is definitely why it's a compliment getter. It's also one of my man's favorite fragrances on me. I find this perfect for like the spring and summer. It has a little bit of a tanginess to it. It's just super easy. One of the best designer fragrances like really ever. I did review the full Mon Guerlain fragrance range up here if you guys want to check that out. It covers basically every flanker. And finally, surprisingly, Flower Bomb Dew. This had me kind of confused in the beginning, but every time I wore it, it seemed to be very well received by everybody around me. And this has ambrette and pear, so it really softens up that whole Flower Bomb scent profile. It's kind of, I don't even know if this even has patchouli in there. I can't smell any. It's a lot powderier, and like it's just that like clean, refreshing sister of the Flower Bomb family. It's one of the easiest wearing ones. It is not quite as like bam in your face as the original Flower Bomb. It's unique enough that you may not even be able to distinguish that it is a Flower Bomb flanker when you smell it on somebody, which I love because Flower Bomb is such a dominant DNA that everybody knows. Personally, this one and the Flower Bomb Midnight are my favorites. This one has a little bit of a weaker performance, but like in a cuddle or a hug, it works perfectly. Everyone will enjoy this. Like, you cannot go wrong with this. It has never done me dirty. This has always got me a compliment, never, oh, what are you wearing? So that's it. Those are my most complimented fragrances. I would love to hear what some of your most complimented fragrances are. And do you guys agree or disagree that a comment is not a compliment? I know that's a little bit of a little button pusher there, but okay. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.